That's right, my friends. It's your old pal Jordan the Lion, and we are in Salem, Massachusetts today for the very first time, and I'm not alone. All right, Katie, we're coming upon a historic house known as the Ropes Mansion. Do you recognize it?
I sure do. You can see this in Hocus Pocus.
That's right. I think this was Allison's house. That is a Halloween classic. A must-see when you come to Salem. Ja, are you impressed? You love doing movie locations. Gonna wander the grounds a little bit. Family day out here in Salem. Beautiful day. A little bit of wind, but the weather's nice. The sun's out. It's not raining. Beautiful grounds. Look at the garden and the grounds. This is all free to see too. Wow, how beautiful is this? What grounds, huh?
Uh-huh.
All right, we have a lot more to see in Salem today. This is awesome that you can just tour this for free. Gates are open. Here's the other side of the house. That is a big place. Wow. Look at him take on the cobblestone streets. What a good dog. So we're gonna go over to this house over here, and this was purchased in 1675 by Jonathan Kerwin. And he became kind of famous because his name would be attached to the Salem witch trial 17 years later. Kind of faded, but you can see up there it says we are at the Witch House of Salem. So I think they call it the Witch House because this was the home of Justice Kerwin, who was one of the judges for the witch trials, 1692, when all those people were accused of being witches just because they were either different or something couldn't be explained. The community just kind of went kind of crazy in a way and put them on trial, basically saying, if you admit that you're a witch, we'll let you live and you can rot away in jail, and if you don't, we gotta cut your head off, burn you, or hang you. So they actually have a historical placard up there. Let's go check it out and see what it says. Oh, it even tells beyond what was the judge's house. It says the land that you and the structure are upon is Namkiga, or a fishing place where generations of indigenous people lived and passed through for centuries. People farmed, fished, and traded. Raised families discovered, invented, created art, and honored the lands upon which we stand today. I like the architecture, and you can actually tour this house, but I don't think they allow you to film any of the tours or anything. But I'm going to show you some of the stores as we walk around town. This is the Black Veil for the grim-hearted. Moon Baby. Blackcraft Cult. Believe in yourself. Okie dokie. Oh, it's coffee. Okay, well. So we decided to come in Blackcraft and check this out. Wow. It might be the world's largest witch.
Welcome to Salem.
Yes, Derek Millen is here. Detours. Katie is here. The Joster is here. And we are here to see Samantha Stevens, the Bewitched statue. How cool is this? I've actually seen, there's a real house in Hollywood, Los Angeles, that is a mirror image of the Bewitched house, because the actual Bewitched house was just torn down off the lot. And so if you ever want to take a photo with it, look it up. It's in West Los Angeles. But here they memorialize from TV land. They have an Elizabeth Montgomery star at the base of this. So there you can see it says Elizabeth Montgomery as Samantha Stevens. Hair of gold, eyes that twinkle, a nose that neatly twitched. Clever, charming, and enchanting, Samantha left us all bewitched. Presented by TV Land. That's very cool. So we wanted to see kind of the witch trial stuff around here, and you said there's some memorials.
Well, there's two memorials. There's one we don't want to walk to. We're gonna get in the
yeah, we'll do that at the end of the video.
Right, but the witch trial memorial over here is really cool. They got stones, almost like benches, and it has all the names of the men and women that were accused of being witches. Has their names, has the execution date, and the way that they were executed, either being hung or pressed.
Yeah, because they probably didn't have headstones. I mean, considering the way that they were, they were accused and everything, they probably weren't identified at the time.
Exactly. And people go there and they leave flowers, they leave coins, candles. It's if you've never been there, and you said you've never been to Salem before,
yeah,
you got to check it out.
Oh yeah, let's go then. You love this history, don't you? Like that. It's very fascinating because it's a crazy time.
It's fascinating because I think this was a really kind of turning point in our country when it was very, very young. This mass hysteria was caused realistically by children, young women, and it really shaked their trust in young women
and the justice system.
And the justice system. So this really changed everything.
Look at this. I love this. It's like the bow of a ship. The Lady of Salem. So also in this alleyway we found a plaque about some other history here. 3 rods west of this spot stood from 1718 to 1785 the townhouse. Here Governor Burnett convened the General Court in 1728 and 1729. A town meeting held here in 1765 protested against the Stamp Act, and another in 1769 denounced the tax on tea. Here he met in 1774 the last General Assembly of the province of Massachusetts Bay, which June 17th, in defiance of Governor Gage, chose delegates. The First Continental Congress. The House Assembly was thereupon dissolved, and the election of a new house to meet at Salem was ordered by the governor. But this, by later proclamation, he refused to recognize. In contempt of his authority, the members met in this town October 5th, and after organizing, resolved themselves into a provincial congress and adjourned to Concord, there to act with other delegates as the First Provincial Congress of Massachusetts.
Super haunted. They actually have videos on the internet from the security photos in there. My friend Victor, a bartender, last year was just sitting there cleaning glasses, and all of a sudden the glass just flew off the bar. And then last week my friend Sarah, who's a manager, also a bartender here, they showed just a table. There was nobody in there, and all of a sudden one of the chairs just started like quivering and then just fell over on its own.
Wow.
There's been ghosts.
Hey, what would you do if that happened?
I don't know.
If you need to buy a magic wand while you're in town, right here. Twilight House.
There's actually a whole store down this way.
Look at this, the Salem shirt. Pirates.
Yeah.
What's that?
I said there's a whole store down this way that just sells nothing but magic wands. It's a Harry Potter store.
Oh, okay.
And I've never seen a Harry Potter movie, so I feel kind of out of place when I'm in there, but I definitely know what a magic wand is and what it can do.
So down here, over here is the Witch History Museum. Right there. And then across from it is the store he was telling us about, World of Wizardry, where you can get your wands. He said if you come here pretty much the entire month of October, you're going to see people in witch hats. We're broadcasting this in October, but we're not filming in October. Like that. It's a great photo op right there. We are still working our way down to the witch trial memorials, but how can you not stop at somebody that looks like this and ask them a question? What's the weather like today, sir? Can you recommend a good place to eat? L! Leprechaun! Warwick Davis! One of my all-time guilty pleasure movies, Leprechaun 2. It just does not get any better. Well, Leprechaun 3 is pretty good too, but Leprechaun 2 is way better. Leprechaun 3 if you like him in Vegas. Oh, take a look. We just saw this. Inspired by historic houses? Wow, they did a great job with that. Nice big anchor. I got a big anchor.
Hey, you scratch my anchor.
Joe Sachs says he's out here every day. Speaking of hocus pocus, it's another fun way you can get around the town. We're following the parade. So this, now that we've made this long walk, we're getting over to the witch trial memorials, which is, that's a heartbreaking thing. If you remember the stories or anything, you know, I mean, we studied it pretty in depth in school. Basically, the new minister in town's family members started acting bizarre, and they basically came up with the conclusion that it was witchcraft and that they had got it from kids messing around, and then they accused their nanny and the housekeeper, and then eventually they put them on trial. And once they had them on trial, the people that were out in the crowd were people that may or may not have liked him, and if they even like itched while they were on the stand, people would say, "She's making me itch." And then they just decided, well, if you confess, we'll let you live, and if you won't confess, you have to die. So some form of justice. So right here in front of the cemetery on the rock wall is every person that was sentenced to death. There's Bridget Bishop, hanged, 1692. We'll walk down here. Sarah Good, this was a really sad story because when they asked her daughter was like 4 years old and said, "Yes, my mom's a witch and I practice it too." And then she got thrown in prison. They said when they finally decided to quit doing all this and just, you know, basically disband the accusations, when the little girl came out, she was basically insane. She had went insane inside the jail.
At 5 years old, unfortunately.
Yeah. And then down here we have Elizabeth Howe, hanged July 19th, 1692. Of course, the crucible really kind of covers this, and that's how a lot of us probably learned about it. Susanna Martin, hanged July 19th, 1692. The crazy thing that we read also was that the guy who had been the minister before actually came to the hanging and said, "This is wrong, you should not be doing this." And nobody would listen to him. They actually accused him of then being afflicted.
The priest, or the reverend before Reverend Paris, was actually taken to the gallows here, and he was able to recite the Lord's Prayer perfectly without any sort of slip up, yet he was hanged anyways. And that was one of the turning points where they kind of saw that something was really, really wrong here.
When he was speaking out, he had come and met the people afflicted and did a whole documentation of what he witnessed and what he saw and everything. But in the end, what kind of stopped it all was the head of the justices that it was actually the governor.
Governor Phipps.
His wife was accused.
And things really, really turned around fast after that.
Yeah, they decided to quit charging people then. And this is Rebecca Nurse.
What's interesting was Rebecca Nurse was considered really a pillar of the community. She was a good Christian woman, so it was very shocking to hear that she, of all people, could have been accused. That opened it up where this could happen to anybody.
Yeah.
Neighbors turned against neighbor, and there wasn't really anything you could do about it if you were accused.
And the only thing that they really got out of it, they said in the end, was never to listen to girls.
Pretty much.
Here's Sarah Wilde's. And we're showing them because I just feel like innocent people deserve to be remembered. I think there were 22 that they ended up doing this to. This was the minister before. This was George Burroughs. He's the one that they hanged also, August 19th. Actually, that's right when we're filming this.
Yeah.
Over here, we had Martha Carrier hanged. Over here, George Jacobs hanged. And probably the most famous name, I mean, if you ever saw The Crucible, I mean, there's just no more powerful scene than John Proctor up there refusing to admit, because he would say, because it is my name and I only have one, I do not have another. He refused to dirty his name by saying that he was guilty. And that's a full tour, so if you don't know the history and you really want to indulge in it, you can take a guided tour and they will tell you everything. We have some more names to see over here. Here's John Willard hanged. Also on August 19th, a lot of these. Giles Corey, wow. Pressed to death.
Giles was actually a very interesting story. He refused to put in any sort of plea to guilt or not guilt, so he was pressed to death. And the reason why he did that is because ultimately, if he was found guilty, his land would have gone back to the government.
To the government, yeah.
So by him basically not admitting anything, it stayed within his family. But unfortunately, he lost his life, and so did his wife shortly after.
Yeah, they actually hanged her a few days later, accusing her out of the blue because he refused to. They assumed she was and killed her as well.
Absolutely, but he stood it up till the end, because he actually said one of his last words was "more weight" when they were putting stones on him.
So here's his wife, Martha. September 22nd. And here we have Mary Eastie. Alicia Parker, Mary Parker. So I believe Mary and Alicia they were mother and daughter. Here we have Anne Podiator, also hanged. Wilmot Red. Imagine that. If you just didn't like somebody, you could accuse them. Samuel Wardwell. One of the world's largest pumpkins. Count us in. Don't mind the construction, but we got to check out this pumpkin. Wow. That is one heck of a pumpkin. Wow. Wow, that is great. Wow, and it's a witch house. That's cool. This shop is great. Ja, what do you think? Truly is a witch's house. If you look up there, you can see the witch in the window and the witch up there and the pumpkin hot air balloon. Let's see what's in this room. Ooh. Floating hats, I love it. This place is awesome. Look at that.
The wrong people got persecuted.
Best Dressed Man Award right there. This is the Hawthorne Hotel. You said it's pretty haunted?
Yeah, it's a haunted hotel.
What's haunted about it?
Well, I've never been in there, but I know there's been apparition scene. There's been funky stuff. I've never. You know, I'm the wrong person to ask.
Yeah, but it's well known in this town from people that come around here.
I've only been to the lounge in there, and there's definitely spirits there.
Yeah, literally. Ho-ho! So here's a statue to Nathaniel Hawthorne, who wrote Scarlet Letter and House of Seven Gables. So we're gonna go over and see that house. But what a great statue. With his hotel that we just showed you right behind it. He's an amazing author. We gotta take a closer look at this. Salem Witch Museum. So we're at the first settler of Salem statue, Roger Conant. First settler. I was a means through grace assisting me to stop the flight of those few that then were here with me, and that by my utter denial to go away with them, who would have gone either for England or mostly for Virginia.
It's a witch. Kind of looks like a
Yeah, of course. If you didn't read it, yeah, you'd think he was a witch.
And it's right in front of the Witch Museum.
Now, Derek, you said this is really cool to check out at night.
Yeah, because all the windows, they glow purple, green, red, and the colors constantly move, so it's not just always red, always purple, always green.
Yeah, and we were saying like, oh, they must have taken over an old church, and you said that it's like Hollywood magic, actually.
It's just a facade in the front. It's just a building in the back with this.
I love it.
Yeah.
It's great, but no filming inside.
No filming, no photography. They have a good gift shop in there, but absolutely no photography.
You said it's a lot of projection stuff.
No,
so.
no projection.
Oh.
No, it's all animatronics
Okay.
Or stationary figures. So what you do in the museum, you stand like in the middle of the room, okay? And then above you is it depicts the history of the Salem witch trials. A light would project over each one of the statues. So you're just going like this the whole time. There's no seats. You move like this. You just stand in the center of the building.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Oh, very
It's really
interesting.
cool, though. Yeah.
Fascinating.
Yeah.
All right, we've made it over to the real House of Seven Gables. So right there is the House of Seven Gables. It was built in 1668 by a merchant and ship owner, John Turner. This was one of the most beautiful and historic houses in this area. And Nathaniel Hawthorne saw this and was inspired to write his book by the same name. Now, from what I understand, his childhood home was behind this. I'm not sure if that's true or not, Nathaniel Hawthorne. It's not documented on the maps or anything, but that would definitely explain why he would have been inspired. You can see the Seven Gables pretty much from here. Why he would have been inspired by it. And you can take a full tour. We're just not going to today. We're just kind of giving you a little tour guide today of things you should check out. But being as how Nathaniel Hawthorne's one of the most famous authors of all time, and it's such a popular book, that we should definitely check and take a look at what it looked like. It's kind of weird. I'm not sure what that means. Rising sea level forced the House of the Seven Gables to move from this spot after 400 years, May 3rd, 2068. Do they know something historically that we don't about the future? Wonder if that step is original. So we've made it over here to what is called Proctor's Ledge. And this is the memorial site where they note that in 1692, this they have found to be the actual site of the hangings. This is where the hangings would have taken place, and particularly the last batch happening September 22nd, 1692. But here's where John Proctor would have been hanged, and all the others, and John Proctor's right here in the center. So everyone hanged here was memorialized with their name, and we read all of those out at the cemetery. But this is the actual site. Some sites online said that it was across the street, like where these condos are over here. But then another site I found said that there was some uncertainty about this for years, but that in 2016 they were able to pinpoint that this was the exact location. I don't know if you can really come to Salem and not come here and pay your respects, because it is a giant tourist attraction, no doubt about it, and is a fun town to come to. But it's really sad that this event, this literally where we get the witch hunt phrase, where this witch hunt has made this town so famous, and now it's got a lot of people coming here, but let's not forget why. Bridget Bishop, Sarah Good, Elizabeth Howell, Susanna Martin, Rebecca Nurse, Sarah Wilds, Reverend George Burroughs, Martha Carrier, George Jacobs Sr., John Proctor, John Willard, Martha Corey, Mary Easty, Alice Parker, Mary Parker, Ann Pudater, Wilmot Red, Margaret Scott, and Samuel Wardwell all lost their lives here. Rest in peace.